Good afternoon. My name is Meredith Shoup, and I am the president of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Foundation. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 77th Annual Franklin A. Polk Public Servants Merit Awards. If you haven't heard yet, the bar is celebrating its 150th anniversary this year with Legacy 150. Over the course of 2023, we've been doing a look back at the rich history of our organization. Earlier this year, we launched an oral history project through our podcast series called My Bar Story, featuring members of our legal community reflecting on their unique pathways to the law. We also built an interactive online timeline as well as a physical timeline known as our History Hall, which is installed right here in our conference center. And our monthly bar journal has featured special historical articles, era by era, each month. One of those articles was authored by our longstanding Public Servants Merit Award MC, Jacob Cronenberg, and it describes the longest running annual event in bar history, and the one we're attending today to salute the exemplary public servants who have and continue to keep the justice system serving our community. For 77 years, city, county, state, and federal courts and clerks of courts offices are asked to nominate non-elected employees for their years of outstanding service to the legal profession, the general public, and our justice system. These merit awards are given for long and faithful service, devotion to duty, wise counsel, unfailing patience, and assistance to the public and members of the bench and bar of this county. I encourage you to read Jacob's article, which details the history of the event and the importance of continuing this tradition. While we reflect on many past contributions to our profession and community, we understand that our work to promote the rule of law must continue to advance. We are thankful to the public servants here today that support this. In addition to looking at our past, we're also looking ahead to the future, and the bar has embarked on a fundraising campaign to expand the bar's impact for generations to come. The signature program of the Legacy 150 campaign is the Cleveland Legal Collaborative, or you might hear CLC. It's a transformative incubator designed to eliminate the legal services gap in Greater Cleveland that impacts our fellow citizens of low and modest income. The Legacy 150 Fund will also expand workforce development initiatives that are creating a more inclusive profession and increase the Bar Foundation's endowment to enable the expansion of our award-winning community and pro bono programs, including the 3 R's, high school mock trial, volunteer lawyers for the arts, and others providing law-related education and direct service. It is a shared priority of this legal community to work together. The Bar Foundation is proud to recognize 10 individuals who have committed themselves to careers of service to the public and to the legal community. We appreciate you and your dedication. As honorees, you are part of our legacy. And it is now my privilege to welcome our MC for the evening, the masterful, the incomparable, Jacob Cronenberg.
Thank you, Meredith, for getting us started. In addition to serving as this year's president of the Bar Foundation, Meredith has a tremendous history of service to our bar. By day, she is head of labor law at Hutamaki, but has made philanthropic engagement a pillar of her personal and professional life. She joined the Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts Committee at the inception of her career and has participated in numerous Lawyers Giving Back programs with the Bar Association since then. She's been a member of the Bar Foundation Board of Directors for 6 years, currently serves as its Legacy 150 Steering Committee Thank you, Meredith, for your service, and let us thank her and the Bar Foundation for hosting this event. There's a preview of who you're going to be hearing from in large measure later today, not me. Today, we celebrate those 10 individuals who have made significant contributions to the administration of justice. Meredith stole some of my lines that I've often given in the past about how these are the people who make the courts work, and I honestly believe that. I have not been here for the whole 150 years of the bar, nor for the whole 77 years of the awards, but it's getting on. While we will be hearing from our honorees and those who nominated them in just a few minutes. You'll also have a chance to learn more about each of them in the printed program you received when you arrived here today. As we have traditionally done, even though in past years when we were a fully in-person event and many past honorees showed up, I know that some are here today, and I would like you to ask me to join with me in honoring those who are past recipients of the Public Servants Merit Award, both those who are here and those who are not here. At this time, I would like to ask all of our former honorees to please stand and allow us to recognize you. Now, as you may have noted in the introductory slide, there were a couple of shots of the walls in the old courthouse where all of the enshrinees, all the honorees from all these 77 years, including the folks who are being enshrined today, have their names on the wall of the courthouse. I welcome you all, as I do every year, to go in there and take a look and sort of understand that each of those names represents generally a minimum, sometimes much more than of 20 years of service to this community. So if you take a look at all those names, hundreds and hundreds of hours and years have been honored. I also noted in that photo montage, by the way, that there was a picture of me from some time ago where I had significantly more hair and significantly more pounds. Not sure whether the two are related, but I'll have to explore that. It's now my honor also to turn our attention to the judges in attendance who have joined us today. Please stand, your honors, so that we may recognize you and thank you for participating in the event every year, sending in your nomination, and helping us to continue our tradition of recognizing the unsung heroes among us who have and continue to keep the wheels of justice turning. Judges, if you would take a bow, please. Now, as I do most years when I remember to do it, I'm going to give my annual or semi-annual or hopefully annual notation. I'll do my best to pronounce everybody's name correctly, but I too am imperfect, so I apologize to those whose names I mangle or otherwise turn into hash. So on to the main event of the program, which is not me or Meredith, but the folks sitting right in front of me who are being honored. Our first honorees come from the Rocky River Municipal Court, presented by the presiding judge there, Judge Donna Congini Fitzsimmons. If you all will come up now, I would note that you'll see two honorees with Judge Fitzsimmons. Judge Fitzsimmons has taken a unique view of double dipping. Many of you are aware of it, of people who retire and then go back on the payroll. She decided that she was going to retire and honor two of her employees. So please, Judge Fitzsimmons.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Judge. Thank you. 24 people from the Rocky River Municipal Court are here today, which speaks volumes of the love and admiration they feel for these two honorees, Eileen and Carol. Eileen and Carol are very special people, and we believe we are part of a family at the Rocky River Municipal Court. They have trained nearly every person who's worked at the court over the years that they've been here. And the court is very proud of our reputation as a very caring court, but incredibly efficient. And we feel that every day we give our best to the many people who come before us to try to help them. These are people that generally, many times, are dealing with the turbulent waters of addiction, mental health, poverty, violence, and we do our best to serve them, especially through the work of these people. I am very near the end of my tenure, my 30-year tenure as a judge at the court. And so, as it's been mentioned, I broke all the rules and said, I have to honor, I can't leave till I honor these two women. I have worked shoulder to shoulder with them and all the people that they have trained over my tenure there. And I am so proud of them. And I want everyone to know that we would not be what we are as a court without them. So we are here today to honor Eileen Baker. I will start with Eileen. And what I'd like to say, first of all, is she has, for an amazing 38 years, been at the court. Now, no one here can ask her what year she started, because I think child labor laws may be involved in that. But in any event, for the majority of the time that she's been here, she has been the supervisor of the Criminal and Traffic Department. And a lot of things go on there that she has a trademark of how she has dealt with them. And she is someone who every day comes into work. Her goal is to do whatever it takes to make the court successful and serve the public. And she does a tremendous job of this. Carol Adapetro, who is currently the supervisor of the Criminal Traffic Division. For example, Eileen, again, to show how dedicated she is, when there was a need to move to become the head of the Civil Division, she did that for a while, even though it was a big change. But she'll do anything to make the court work and make the court successful. Carol has been with us for 31 years. She had some stints at two prior courts, very short, but 31 years. Again, you wouldn't believe it by looking at them, I'll tell you. But Carol is the calmest person in the clerk's office and probably the entire court. How she does it, we don't know. But she is tremendously successful at managing people, at making everyone feel great, at no matter what is going on. She manages events and all the things that happen. So when the defendants are in front of me, they generally, they're very nice, they're very careful. But I understand they get downstairs to the clerks, they always tell me this, and then they're very unhappy. They hear what their fine and court cost is. They hear what they have, if they have to do all these things on probation. But these two women, and all the women that they've trained, continue to do a good job always, no matter what they face. And this group that I'm with the court, we spent many years before we have the new courthouse that we have, which we got in 2003, in a very cramped, crowded place, very difficult work conditions. We were basically in just 2 rooms of the city hall trying to run a court. We had massive increases in our caseload, but no one complained. Everybody did the job. All we cared about is serving the public. And so I am very proud of these two women, and I hope that you can honor them today. Thank you.
Draw straws. One of you has to go first.
First, I'd like to thank Judge Donna Congeni Fitzsimmons for nominating me, as well as the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association for selecting not 1, but 2 employees this year from the Rocky River Municipal Court. It is an honor to receive this prestigious award alongside my coworker of 31 years, Eileen Baker. Eileen has shared with me her vast knowledge of of policies and procedures within the clerk's office, which has enabled me to be able to perform my job with renewed confidence. Eileen has been a blessing to me, and I feel privileged to have worked literally by her side for as long as I have. Prior to joining Rocky River Municipal Court, I also worked as a deputy clerk for over 7 years combined at both Lakewood Municipal Court and Sylvania Municipal Court. It has been a pleasure knowing and working with both Judge Donick and Jeannie Fitzsimmons and Judge Brian Hagan, along with their staff of bailiffs, probation officers, and magistrates, as well as all of my coworkers in the clerk's office. I've been able to enjoy many years of friendship and laughter with so many of them. I'd like to recognize and thank Clerk of Court Debbie Comrie for her leadership in running an extremely efficient clerk's office, as well as allowing us to have the occasional rubber chicken fight when we have a few minutes of downtime. Thank you all for sharing in this special memory with me, and a special thank you goes to my husband, Anthony, and daughter, Julianne, for being here today.
Oh, good afternoon. What an honor this is to be here. I wanted to thank Judge Fitzsimmons for nominating us for this award for the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, as well for selecting us. Being recognized for a job you love to do is so heartwarming and very appreciated. It is a pleasure working with Judge Fitzsimmons, Judge Hagan, our clerk Debbie Comrie, the entire staff of Rocky Municipal Court, as well as all the great attorneys that come through our court. Everyone makes it a wonderful place to work. It is truly rare to work in an environment where everyone works well together to get the job done. Thank you so much again for this wonderful honor.
Congratulations, Carol and Eileen, and thank you, Judge. I'm glad to know that, at least in Rocky River, there are no politics in the court, only policies. Our next honoree is from the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas, and introducing him is Judge Brendan Sheehan, the presiding administrative judge. I'm pleased to note that almost every time I see him, Judge Sheehan reminds me that I was his instructor his first year of law school in a course, and yet he chose to finish despite that and is now a judge. Judge Sheehan.
Thank you, Jacob, and I want you to know that I remember you more like that photo and that video than now.
Understood.
Yeah, all right. Well, good afternoon. On behalf of the General Division, I want to thank the Bar Foundation for this opportunity. The Franklin A. Polk Public Servant Merit Award is a wonderful way to honor public service at all levels, and today's honorees represent all that the public should be. And I want to congratulate all of you for your public service. Now, Leo Blatt. Leo. Leo has been my bailiff since I became a judge in 2009. Before that, Leo worked for several other judges. In fact, Leo has been a fixture in the Justice Center since 1983. Do your homework. 1983, 40 years. Give him a round. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a history buff. And I've listened to Leo tell stories about the people in that Justice Center from all those days. I could tell you a few of them right now, but it's probably best I don't. So ask me later at the reception here. Now, not only is Leo the default court historian, he's also a dedicated public servant. No one knows the system or how a courtroom operates better. I rely on him every day. Any delays in the courtroom is not Leo's fault. He does the best to keep me on time, but occasionally I mess up his schedule. What can I say? I like to talk a lot, right, Leo? Attorneys know that if they need something, they can come to Leo. He'll set them on the right path, usually with a quip that can only be called a Leoism. Now, I've heard people say in the courthouse they can actually hear Leo's eyes roll. But what I hear is that booming laugh when he shares a great story. To be a bailiff, a judge has to trust that person implicitly. It's like a marriage. Leo is a true partner. Now, speaking of family, I also want to take this moment to recognize Leo's wife, Nancy. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here, but she's going to be online watching. His son, Brian, his sisters and brothers who came from out of town to be here to watch this, Mary Jane, Susan, Martha, his brother Jim, and his wife Kathy, and John are all here because they can't believe he's been here 40 years. Now, I'm lucky that Leo agreed to work with me all those years ago. He's become a true friend and a confidant. I can ask Leo anything, and he'll be honest with his response. Really, really honest. Now, over the past 40 years, Leo's done so much for the court and for me, and the court is honored to be able to recognize Leo in this way. However, just like Judge Fitzsimmons changed the rules a little bit, I know that only one person is supposed to have one presenter, but I have a special surprise for Leo. I'd like to invite the former chief of the United States District Judge, Judge Patty Gaughan, to come up here to say a few words. She hired Leo as her scheduler in 1987, 2 years after I graduated from high school. So let's give Judge Gaughan a round of applause.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. So yes, 1987, it was a monumental year for me. I became a judge. I got married. But perhaps the highlight was I met Leo Blatt. And yes, Leo was my scheduler during my years on Common Pleas Court bench. Now, I think just about everyone in this room, you know about his wicked wit. His dry, sarcastic, brilliant humor is legendary, not only at the Justice Center, but beyond, Leo. But I want to give you an up-close, personal perspective on Leo. He is smart. Folks, he is so smart. And even his brother Jim tonight said he's the smartest in the family, and I know it's a very smart family. He is organized, he is efficient, he is loyal, and folks, he is one of the best friends you could ever ask for. I left for the federal bench almost 28 years ago, and our friendship remains. We meet several times every year just because we're friends. And anytime I call on him, he never lets me down. He's always there for me. So yes, we are here to celebrate his incredible 40 years of public service. To get an award Leo Blatt so richly deserves. But I'm also here because I am celebrating a friendship of almost 37 years that I treasure so dearly. Leo, I am so honored to be here today. I am so incredibly proud of you. And I just want to say, congratulations on a career well done.
I don't know who the hell they're talking about. So back in 1959, no, I'm kidding, I'm not going to go there. 77 of these, and I haven't been to 77 of them, but I've been to a lot of them. And I knew Franklin Polk, and it's sort of like Corey Kluber knowing Cy Young. It's like, it doesn't happen. Judge Sheehan wants me to tell this story, so I'll do it. My first job, I was bailiff for David Mattia, and we were on one side of the 22nd floor, and the other side of the 22nd floor was Judge Feehan. And every morning, I'd have my newspaper spread out and a cup of coffee and a cigarette. And Judge Feehan would walk around the floor and he'd come up behind me and he'd wait until I was about to drink the coffee and he'd bang on the door or something and try to get me to spill it. And he'd come and take the sports page and sit at the desk in the middle. And he wouldn't even look at me. He'd just be reading the paper and he'd say, "And when are you going to get the Franklin Polk Merit Award?" And I said, "Oh, no, Judge, I'm only here temporarily until I get back into television." And he said, "Uh-huh." And so here I am. I don't know what to say. I want to thank Judge Sheehan and, Greg Popovich and Andrea Canast, and they sprung this on me, and I was like, oh, boy. My family for being here, traveling to get here, and my wife couldn't be here today, but she wanted to, and it's been the last couple of years have been really tough with COVID and being administrative judge. It's been a totally different time than any other time we've had down there, and we have fun and we laugh, we yell, we do it. It's a family, and it's a lot of fun. And I hate to think that I'm one of the people that's been there the longest. It's like, holy cow. I talk about people and they don't even know. The prosecutors don't. I mention TV shows. They're like, what? And, it's like mentioning a record album. Well, I don't know what. And then I relive some of it for them, and they think, man, this guy's. And I try to do the best I can. I enjoy helping people, and sometimes my sarcasm and so I see attorneys come in and I say something and I wish I could read their mind because they'd be thinking, what a jerk. And then I watch 6 months later, they come back and they see me do it to some other new attorney and they just smirk. And it's just fun. We have a good time while doing a good job. And I just want to thank you all for being here, and thanks Judge Sheehan and Judge Gahn especially. That was a surprise, and just thank you.
Congratulations, Leo. Thank you, Judge Sheehan and Judge Gahn. I sort of knew about these first two rule breakings. Anybody else of you nominators want to do something? Have at it. I'm out of, it's out of my control. Our next honoree comes from the Cleveland Municipal Court, and here to present him is the head of that court, Judge Michelle Early.
I actually thought we were breaking rules too. Where's Judge Zone? He didn't want to break the rules, but since Judge Sheehan did, we're gonna.
I said, not in my control, Becky. Becky, I've lost it.
I'm gonna be
Don't
quick.
blame me.
I timed my speech, so I have time for him to say something. Good afternoon. I would like to thank the Bar Association for the opportunity to honor dedicated public servants today. Again, I'm Judge Michelle Early of the Cleveland Municipal Court, and our honoree today is our court administrator, Russell Brown. Russell Brown truly exemplifies the court motto, public service with pride. And I actually think that on his ID badge, if you flip it over, it has like our mission statement that everybody here probably knows he carries to remind us and himself of what we stand for. Russell Brown is an Air Force veteran. He has a BA from Kent State University and a law degree from Case Western Reserve University School of Law. He joined the court in 1997 as a magistrate and a mediation coordinator. He was promoted to several court management positions before becoming court administrator in 2006. The court is not the only organization that has recognized Russell's greatness. In 2001, he received the National Conference for Community and Justice of Cleveland Young Leadership Award for working to address race relations and fight bias. In 2006, he was a recipient of the Director's Award of Merit for Applied Research for his paper on expungement and collateral sanctions. And in 2015, he was a recipient of the National Center for State Court Warren B. Berger Award for Excellence in Court Administration. He is a fellow with the National Center for State Court Institute for Court Management and is on faculty with the Ohio Judicial College teaching leadership and its National Center for State Court Certified Court Management Program. Additionally, he serves on the board of the National Center for State Court. Russell Brown has been the court administrator for 3 different administrative judges. That is significant. In 2017, when I contemplated becoming administrative and presiding judge of the Cleveland Municipal Court, knowing Russell would be leading the administrative team made the decision easy, as there is no one else I'd rather serve the citizens of the city of Cleveland with and our staff. And kind of if you know our personality, I am somebody who is going to run in the building, save the people. I'm just running in. Russell is the one that says, Judge, we have to have our mask, our oxygen. And what that demonstrates is that he's always willing, but more importantly, he's always prepared. Interesting enough, when we often have meetings, we do the good cop, not good cop, I'm not gonna say bad cop. And he always gets to be the good cop, like always. Hopefully, at some point, I'll be able to do that. Russell, thank you for your service, but we're not done yet. You can't leave. I asked Judge Zone to come up here to briefly say a few words because he is the longest serving judge and he has served with Russell longer than I have. And I'd like for him to say a couple of words for Russell. And then again, I apologize. I put Judge Zone on the spot, but he loves me, so he won't mind.
That's true. First of all, I was wondering how she would explain that I was the one chosen to speak with her, and I see some of my colleagues here, and so now I know why. It's because I'm old. And like Judge Congeni, I also am done in a little while, so I'll let you in on a secret. Judges are prima donnas, and a lot of you don't know that, but Russell probably knows it better than anybody. I've learned to appreciate what a court administrator does because I stole our former court administrator and he became my bailiff for a number of years. He's here today, Mickey Flanagan. And he often told me that Russell does an exemplary job, and you didn't have to tell me because you can see it every day. All of the recipients today, I could compare them to offensive linemen in football, because your job is to not have your name called and to just put your head down and do the work. And if your name's called, that means something bad is going on. So I appreciate all of you for what you do, and you keep us going. Being prima donnas, we need to support people around us. And Russell's forte, if I had to say, was one. We have 12 judges in our general division, and judges' meetings can be quite challenging. And I'm always amazed how Russell just sits there and nods his head, and I'm sure he's thinking, dude, what are you thinking? That's ridiculous. But they know how to do the job and to keep us safe and to keep us protected, and we certainly appreciate everything you do for us, and especially you, Russell. Thank you very much.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I know that we have a limited time. All I need is about 5 minutes. First of all, let me start with saying thanks to my administrative and presiding judge, Judge Early. I've had the privilege of working with the judge, and I can attest to the fact that she's all around dedicated and knowledgeable, and she actually kind of runs the court with a firm leadership and strong care and delivery of justice to our citizens. I will also say the 2 preceding administrative and presiding judges that I work with, I've got to say thanks to both of them. Judge Adrian basically was an excellent administrative judge as well. Same thing with Judge Stokes, Judge Larry Jones. Oh my goodness. So, but I want to say thank you again to Judge Adrian and also to Judge Larry Jones, who parted from us way too soon and is no doubt now at home with the Lord. Each of these judges has led this court with vision, commitment, and distinction. And to my honor, they each also welcomed me through their own individual trust and confidence in my ongoing court administrator leadership and management. Next, let me say thanks to my loving family that's present. Please stand. My wife, Tanya, my son, Joshua, I think my son, Matthew, was not able to make it. Okay, and I also have my mother-in-law here, Joan. Hello. I thank all of you dearly for all that you've done for me and with me over the years. Thank you. Next, let me acknowledge some of my colleagues at work. Let me start with Tracy Gonzalez, Mike Negre, and Montera Kennedy. Are you guys here? Please stand. All right. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge and thank you, Tracy and Mike, as my day-to-day right and left hand in terms of administering in the court. And thank you for providing me the most visionary and on-point judgments and recommendations day-to-day as we navigate the various issues that continuously come before us day in and day out. As for Montera, as well as, although you're fairly new, you've come in and joined right up in helping to provide the invaluable administrative assistance to my deputies and myself, and we appreciate that, and also what you deliver to our administrative and services department. So I see some other of my department managers coming in, our Director of Human Resources, Neida Miller, our Director of Finance, Michelle Kinney, and one of our all-around administrative assistants, Jane Lockhart. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate your support every day. And thank you for your dedication to the court as well. Now, given the reason that I'm here receiving this distinguished award, I will simply close out with a related, on-point, personal statement that was required of me back in February of 1990 as I was registering and taking the bar exam. For that process, I had to write in 100 words or less why I wanted to be a lawyer. My answer to that question was the following: to be an attorney at law gives me the opportunity to be representative of both the best in advocacy the law has to offer, as well as one of the brightest that my community can look to for personal commitment and professional service. In my estimation, there's no better combination than the thirst for the formidable skill of an excellent attorney, the taste of sensitivity for the communities of our society in need, and the quench of exercising the successful representation of both. I simply want to be of service to the people and to be among the best at it. In closing, my heartfelt thanks to the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar and to the Franklin A. Polk Public Servants Merits Awards, and to my fellow awardees. Congratulations and thanks to each one of you for your dedicated service to our courts and to our citizens. And to everyone, thanks, all of you that are present. Thank you.
Congratulations, Russell. Thank you, Judges Early and Sohn. Our next honoree, you see her displayed. Unfortunately, for personal reasons, Anita Daniels could not be here today. Anita Daniels is the Deputy Bailiff for the Cleveland Housing Court, and she has been a quality asset to the court since she began working there in April of 2001 after having transferred from the Cuyahoga County Jail, where she worked as a corrections officer. Her nominator tells us that Ms. Daniels has handled and processed thousands of cases on a monthly basis, Over the years, her experience has ranged from working in the field on evictions to getting prisoners up to the 13th floor courtroom. She is very knowledgeable in all the different aspects of the court. Anita continues to maintain a strong and confident presence in the courtroom as well as the field. She has been the court training bailiff officer for all new bailiffs. This is because of her extensive knowledge of court processes and bailiff duties. So on behalf of the foundation, please join me in congratulating Ms. Daniels. We finally get a non-judge. We'll see what he does to destroy my life. County Prosecutor O'Malley is here to introduce his nominee.
Thank you, and I'd also like to thank the Cleveland Bar Foundation for this event that is so important to the people who dedicate their lives to public service. I want to take a moment of personal privilege. The name Mickey Flanagan was mentioned, and when I started my journey in this system in December of 1985, Mickey was the guy that took me under his wing and put me on my way, and I haven't seen him in years. Thank you, Mickey. He's also a previous recipient of the Franklin Polk Awards. Now let me talk about my nominee, Anna Feralia. You know, being a prosecutor is a very, very difficult position. Being anywhere in law enforcement today is a very difficult position. When we have Cleveland Police recruitment classes of 8 officers, times are very difficult. And as people get into my office, the cases that we handle on a daily basis are some of the worst things that we can see a human being do to a human being. And this happens every day, as we know, just from watching our local media or watching things that we seeing going around our neighborhoods. I want to take this moment to thank Anna's family from coming in from Erie, Pennsylvania, her brother, her family and friends, and I want to thank the numerous Cuyahoga County prosecutors who Anna has taken under her wings from coming out today and showing her support. Anna Feralia. She started her career in 1989 working for the guy with the big billboard on I-90, Patrick Quinn. I was working in the great city of Euclid at his office and doing the work of the people. Anna was in that office from 1989 to 1997. At that point, Anna was hired by the late Cuyahoga County prosecutor Stephanie Tubbs Jones to be a Cuyahoga County prosecutor. She quickly excelled through the ranks, beginning at child support like all did in those days, progressing to the juvenile unit. She then went to the general felony unit, where she became a general felony unit supervisor. Anna was then promoted to the major trial unit, where she was working in the special victims unit, handling some of the most troubling cases involving child victims in sexual assaults and felonious assaults. Anna has been doing that work and others for the last 21 years. In 2009, Anna was promoted to the major trial homicide unit, where she has tackled some of the most trying cases in our county. I could go through a list of them. And in a way, I don't like doing that because it's giving notoriety to the most evildoers in our society. But know that Anna has advocated for the victims to try to bring them their day of justice. Prosecuting people like Dr. Yasid Issa, who murdered his wife, Matthew Nicholson, who several years ago murdered his girlfriend's 2 children in Garfield Heights, Sierra Day and Deontay Lewis, who murdered 5-year-old Anaya Day. The list goes on and on and on of the hundreds and hundreds of cases that Anna Feralia has had to prosecute on behalf of these victims and their families, but on behalf of the state of Ohio and the people of this county to try to keep our community safe. She does it professionally. She is a mentor. She is a mentor to so many people in the office, many of whom are here. She brings a real sense of family to the office. She makes a good Irish soda bread on St. Patrick's Day and always remembers to bring me one. But I just want to thank her for her friendship to me, the way she advises in her counsel, and I'm proud of our friendship. Cuyahoga County is well served by Anna Feralia and her long 26-year tenure in the office. And I'm proud to have nominated Ms. Anna Feralia from Erie, Pennsylvania, as the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Employee of the Year. Thank you.
It's easier to do a closing argument. First of all, I'd like to thank the CMBA Foundation for bestowing this award upon all public servants. I want to thank Michael, my boss and my friend, for nominating me. I want to thank the folks that participated and assisted in preparing the nomination letter. You know who you are, and I am truly grateful. Thank you to my family who traveled here from Erie, my brother and my aunt. I would not be standing here without the love, support, and encouragement that I have received from my family throughout the whole 37 years that I've lived in Cuyahoga County. Thank you to my friends that are here today and far, who have always supported and continue to support my endeavors. To all the nominees and the recipients of this award, congratulations to you all, because we are all public servants that work in each branch of government. To serve Cuyahoga County and the citizens has truly been a privilege for me. I thank Stephanie Jones, who hired me, Bill Mason, Tim McGinney, and Mike O'Malley for continuing to support me these past 26 years. I thank the veteran prosecutors who have gone before me, who taught me that your word is your bond, respect your opposing counsel, and be kind to your fellow man. I thank all the dedicated prosecutors that I work with on a daily basis who are here today, and I am appreciative of all of you. We work beside one another, and as Judge Early said, we become a family when you work so closely with folks. These young, dedicated prosecutors have helped me with technology, with Mondo pads, with PowerPoints, with text messaging abbreviations. They are the foot soldiers of the office who fight the good fight every day to bring justice to the victims. With privilege, folks, comes responsibility. Responsibility to my oath, to the commitment to justice, to all the victims of Cuyahoga County who have become enmeshed in a system because of somebody's criminal actions. I can never take away the pain of physical injury or sexual assaults. I can never bring back a loved one that has been murdered. What I can do and have been doing is to ensure that justice prevails for the families of Anaya Day, of Rosie DiPuccio, of Nancy Pimentel, of Gina Lampton, of Emiliano Terry, of Jordan Rodriguez, of Elizar Ruiz, of Sophia Escoveria, of Tanisha McLeod, of Kamari Hampton, of Morgan Dillard, Sanaya Nicholson, of Regina Capobianco, John Mann, Manuel and Giselle Lopez, Sally Schultz, Charles Vonderow. He was 94, and he lived alone in his bungalow in Old Brookland. He had 2 kids who lived out of town, and he was self-sufficient. When his wife died, Charles had 5x7 cards of all of her recipes. He had everything documented and organized like my friend Leo Black does for the court. And on one cold day, Charles was beaten to death because he wouldn't give somebody money. His children traveled here, and his defendant was punished for the crime, but that always left such an impressionable mark on me. Here was a man who had lived his whole life in our community, minding his own business, and he got bludgeoned to death in his own home. So as your public servant, I have had the privilege and the responsibility to be the voice for the voiceless for the past 26 years. And I hope to continue to be that voice in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna, and thank you, Mr. O'Malley. Our next honoree is from the court where many of you who know me know that I spend most of my time. And here from the Domestic Relations Court is the nominee's nominator, Judge Leslie Ann Celebrezzi, and her presenter, Judge Tonya Jones, breaking the rules again, this one I knew about, and their honoree, Karen Larry.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Jacob.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Thank you to the Cleveland Bar Foundation for recognizing these outstanding public servants here today, and also for those in attendance who traveled in the rain and made the sacrifice of coming here. It gives me great honor and a privilege to speak about Karen Larry, who I've actually known since I was 15 years old. I didn't grow up in Cleveland. I moved to Cleveland actually when I was 15. We lived next door to Karen's mom. And so Karen was already an adult, but she would of course come to her mother's house, and so I got to know Karen. Her mom would give me rides home from school when she would see me walking and all of that. So Karen was always someone that I looked up to and admired as a teenager growing up. When I started practicing in domestic relations court, who do I see? Karen Larry, sitting there with that same smile that she always had on her face, always willing to give a helping hand and to offer information. Karen began her career at Domestic Relations Court on April 4th, 1997. During her first 21 years of service at the court, she was an enforcement services officer in the Enforcement Services Department, where she was influential in establishing a great rapport between the court and the Child Support Enforcement Agency. Karen also played a very important role in the court's establishment of the Information Center, which is now known as the Navigation Services Department. This department provides valuable assistance for self-represented litigants and attorneys. For the past 5 years, Karen has served as my judicial assistant and scheduler for Magistrate Sharon Eccles. Karen is phenomenal in her present role. She is thoughtful and detail-oriented and works daily to make sure the courtroom operates smoothly and to meet the differing demands of the judicial team she serves. During the pandemic, our court was very quick to start having remote hearings and allowing employees to work from home. But the judges' staff, they didn't have that same privilege because our bailiffs and in our court, the bailiffs and the schedulers or judicial assistants are the paper pushers. So they were there every day. Karen didn't complain. She was always on time. There would be times when I would feel bad or Magistrate Eccles would say, well, maybe we should go in to make Karen's job a little bit easier. And she would always say, no, I got this. So that's the type of person that Karen is. She sacrifices so that others are able to remain safe. As our office, as we're like a family in our office, we have a small staff, like our immediate staff, of course, and we are like a family. So when people's birthdays are coming up, special occasions, Karen is always the one who's organizing birthday parties, cake. And she just runs after work on her lunch just to make sure that everything in our courtroom runs very smoothly. Her flexibility, knowledge, and positive attitude has been a tremendous asset to our team. Words that I would use to describe Karen are efficient, team player, leader, patient, and above all, Karen is caring. She is truly the glue to our team. I'm so thankful for you, Karen, and I'm proud to have you as a valued member of my team. You deserve this award today, and we celebrate you for the 26 years and 6 months of service, of outstanding public service to the Domestic Relations Court. I'd like for, I think I saw Judge Palos, who's also here. And I saw my magistrates are here, Magistrate Judy Jackson Winston and Magistrate Sharon Eccles. And then there are other court staff here as well. Thank you, Karen.
Mr. Cronenberg.
Ms. Larry.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Judge Celebrezzi for this nomination. It feels great to be honored for years of dedication and hard work. I also would like to thank Judge Jones for adding me to her team in 2018. It has been such a wonderful learning experience in serving the public from all walks of life in some of the most traumatic times of their life, assisting them with divorce and post-decree work. Also, to the other recipients of the Public Service Award, congratulations to you as well.
Congratulations, Karen. Thank you, Judges Celebrezzi and Jones. By the way, there are many people who tell me where to go on a regular basis. She does it so politely that it's a pleasure to be told where to go by Karen. Our next honoree comes from the Juvenile Court, and here to present his nominee is Judge Thomas O'Malley of the Juvenile Court.
Jacob, I'd like the record to reflect that the O'Malleys are the only ones following the rules today.
So noted. Gee, that sounded judicial, didn't it?
I'd also like to thank the Bar Foundation, and to all the recipients, congratulations. I have the privilege and honor to introduce Juvenile Court's 2023 recipient, Terrence Palange. And Terrence, on behalf of the 500-plus employees back at East 93rd in Quincy, and your family, your wife and your 2 daughters are here, your son couldn't make it, congratulations. Terrence may be the only person at Juvenile Court that is affectionately known only by his last name. When I first started almost 18 years ago, I came into work, and my bailiff came in and said, P.O. Palange is here. I was like, what? And they said, no, P.O. Palange is here. I said, well, go find out what his first name is. She came back, she said, I asked around, nobody knows. I've gotten to know Terrence over the years, and I can tell you he's just as nice outside the office as he is inside. He's always upbeat, and ladies and gentlemen, if you've never met a true optimist, you're about to. Terrence has been at the court, juvenile court, for over 33 years. He started as a probation officer, then moved up to youth development coordinator, probation officer 3, probation manager, day treatment program manager, and most recently, he is the manager of the Early Intervention and Diversion Center. And since it's opened, his department has seen over 12,000 referrals. Terrence's wife, as I said, and daughters are here. His son could not make it. It's my pleasure to introduce Juvenile Court's 2023 recipient of the Franklin A. Polk Public Servants Merit Award, Paul Ange.
To the Bar Association, thank you. Fellow nominees, I love hearing your stories, and I'm honored to share this evening with you. To Judge O'Malley and the judges, the jurists, the administration and staff of the entity that I've had the privilege of calling my work home for 33 years, I am humbled beyond my wildest dreams. In a series of speeches leading up to his inauguration, President Kennedy uttered the phrase, "Remember from whence you came." I'd like to believe that he was subliminally informing all of us that no matter where you go in life, you must remember where you came from, because it was from those initial lessons that you learned that formed and forged you into the person you are today. I have those words hanging on my office door. I think they can be attributed to all factors of life. Remember from whence you came, family. I'll always be the son of Joe and Ruth Palange. And in that A-frame house growing up, we were taught many valuable lessons about life. There were certain things that were laser printed into the fabric of our soul, and that was God, country, family, and hard work. I'm certain that I was the root cause of many a hair falling out of their head prematurely or going gray. But I also know as I stand here today, there's a smile on their face. In 1986, I had the audacity to ask this good-looking girl out of my league, but she said yes. That led to 5 years of dating and 32 years of marriage. Gilda, I don't know if I can stand here and say I truly deserve you, but it's like being offered a cold beer on a hot day. I'll take it. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and man, have I been lucky now. Thanks for letting me hitch my wagon to you for this ride through this life. Ti amo. To our kids, Courtney, Morgan, Dominic, and their soon-to-be son-in-law, Nick, we're proud of you and the people you've grown into. We look forward to seeing how you write the next chapter of your lives. The world is yours. Anche ti amo. Remember from whence you came, work. I will always be a University Circle probation officer. 1922 East 107th Street. It's where it all began for me, and where my streak of being surrounded by the best people began, and that still extends to today. I have literally lived a charmed existence and working for the court, because I have literally been cocooned by the best that juvenile court has to offer. And it's because of all of you that I stand here today, so I'm eternally grateful. There's a quote on my office door from St. Mother Teresa of Calcutta. It says, "The miracle is not that we do this work, but that we're happy to do it." That pretty much sums it up for me. Thanks again to the foundation and to everybody here tonight. Enjoy your evening, be safe, be healthy, go Browns, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Judge O'Malley, and congratulations, Terrence. Now we will, I didn't want to use your last name because I like to be different too. From the city of Parma, presenting his honoree, Timothy Jobeck.
Thank you, Jacob, and thank you to the foundation as well. Debbie Smigo has been with the City of Parma Law Department for over 26 years. She works as the claims assistant in Parma, and she's the only person to hold that position. She's responsible for handling all the claims from the city, from pothole and property damage claims to injury claims. She communicates with constituents, with lawyers, with insurance companies. She documents the files. She gets all of the documentation necessary to either defend the claim or to support the claim. And so considering that Parma is the 7th largest city in Ohio and she's the only person that does it, she does a very, very good job. Debbie is also one of our administrators for our juvenile diversion program in Parma, and she attends the hearings and provides all the follow-up to the participants. In our office, Debbie is well known and well liked by her colleagues and is a team player. She has a very pleasant disposition, and she really is a pleasure to be around. And as a bonus, and I will say this is self-interest, she's a terrific baker, and she always brings her bakery and her goods in for all of us to sample. So it is with a great deal of pleasure that I nominate Debbie Smigo of the Parma Law Department for the 2023 Franklin Polk Public Merit Award. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to thank my boss, Parma Law Director and Chief Prosecutor Tim Dobeck, for the Franklin A. Polk Award nomination and for your kind words. In 1997, I began working with the City of Parma Law Department as the claims assistant. The last 24 plus years have been under the leadership of Mr. Dobeck, and prior to Mr. Dobeck, the former County Prosecutor Bill Mason. Mr. Mason and Parma Municipal Judge Deanna O'Donnell implemented the Parma Diversion Program, which I have been a part of for the past 25 years. I started as a volunteer with this program and currently serve as the Community Service Coordinator under the supervision of Victim Advocate Attorney Sherry Purge. I am also a member and a trustee of the ASME Union for the City Hall employees. The Franklin A. Polk Public Service Merit Award recognizes hard work and dedication in public service, and anybody would be honored to be a recipient of this award. My parents taught me that there is great satisfaction through hard work to take pride in what you do, to act responsibly, and to be kind to others. These qualities resonate in my daily activities, both at work and at home. A special thank you to all the sponsors of this award and to the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association for continuing this tradition of honoring public service employees and Franklin A. Polk's work. Congratulations to all of the other recipients of this award who are present here today for their continued service and dedication. I also want to acknowledge my coworkers, Vicki Ziegler, Lynn Tomei, Assistant Law Director Mike Maloney, and Prosecutor Roseanne Hilo from the Parma Law Department and Prosecutor's Office, as well as my husband, Glenn, who are all here to support me on this day. Thank you again for this great honor.
Thank you, Mr. Dobeck, and congratulations, Debbie. Our last honoree, but only last alphabetically, not by any means other than that, is from the Cuyahoga County Probate Court, and here presenting his nominee is Judge Anthony J. Russo, the presiding judge of that court.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure and also my privilege to be here today. I'd also like to thank the Bar Foundation and the Bar Association for sponsoring this very special event. The probate court honoree this afternoon is Peggy Vanek. I've been a judge for 30 years, starting back in 1992 in domestic relations court. That's where I first met Peggy, who had been there since 1985, long before I arrived. Now I'm 70 years old. Doing the math, does that make her older than me? Look at her. I don't think that's possible. Or did she start working for the court when she was in grade school? That's possible too, because she's smart enough. Who really knows these things? Apparently not me. But during the past 32 years, Peggy's provided outstanding public service and positive leadership, first to the domestic relations court, and now for the past 15 years for the probate court, where she manages our fiscal and HR departments. She's an integral part of our court administration, actively involved in hiring staff and providing daily assistance to all court departments and personnel, including me. I trust her judgment implicitly and rely on her constantly and completely. I could go on and on about what she does, but suffice it to say this: Peggy runs the court. After 15 years, I still don't know what her title is. If anyone wants to let me know, I'd be glad to hear. She doesn't have a card, I don't think, and there's no title on her door. So I thought today I'd give her a title, and we'd call her the Queen of the Court. She rules with an iron fist and a velvet glove. If you're not familiar with that, you could look it up. But by the way, Queen Peg, in honor of your new title, you might as well look the part. So we got you a little crown here and some velvet gloves. If you could put it on for the people just for 2 minutes. Really, though, what makes Peggy such a gem is her sunny disposition and her ultimate can-do attitude. She comes to work early every day with a smile on her face and a willingness to help whoever and however she can. She goes above and beyond to assist the public and her co-workers. She's been one of the primary coordinators, along with Sue, for our court's Harvest for Hunger campaign for many years, always making it a fun event and a great success. Speaking of Sue, her and Peggy are so close at work. They're together so much. We just call them Peggy Sue. So Peggy's been married to her husband, Mark, for 23 years. She's the proud mother of Jake, Mark, and Alina, and the doting grandmother of Landon, Grayson, and Eleanor. If you know Peg, you know she's the nicest and funnest person around. She's an excellent employee. She's a high-quality individual in every respect. At the probate court, we just love her. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce this year's winner of the Public Service Merit Award for the probate court, my very good friend, Peggy Vanek.
Good afternoon, everybody. First off, I would like to congratulate all the nominees today. It was certainly well-deserved for everyone. Thank you, Judge Russo, for the kind words. Also, Judge Russo, I would like to thank you for giving me a second opportunity to return to the courts. It has meant the world to me and my family. I also would like to thank Judge Gallagher for her support over the last 14+ years. There's a famous saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I believe that also applies to my probate family. Without their support, dedication, and kindness the last 15 years, I would not be here today. I've met so many nice people over the years working at the old courthouse. It has been amazing. Thank you to the bar for having us today and for hosting this event. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to my family, not only for being here today, but for all your love and support. Thank you to my husband, Mark, both my sons, Jake and Mark, and my daughter, Alina. Love you guys. Thank you, probate family.
Thank you, Judge Russo, and congratulations, Your Highness. Although that's our last honoree, we still have a little bit of business to do, and it's now my pleasure to turn the microphone over to this year's chair of the Public Servants Award Committee. On behalf of her hardworking members, Tara Coleman is here. She's an associate at Baker Hostetler, representing clients in both state and federal court, and specializes in commercial litigation and white-collar investigations. She's a foundation director and recipient of the bar's Legacy 150 Legacy in the Making Award. Tara, please have the floor.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you. So it has been an honor to chair this year's Public Servants Celebration. And what a tremendous group of individuals we are honoring. I mean, seriously, thank you all for the work you do. On behalf of the Public Servants Planning Committee and the Board of Directors for the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Foundation, I want to thank you, Jacob. So thank you so much for being a long-standing, just our annual MC, extraordinary work, and we don't think anyone can do it better.
Thank you.
And again, congratulations to all of today's honorees, and thank you to those who have nominated them. Each of you, nominators and nominees, you've played an integral role in the success of our justice system. Your stories are touching, and your work ethic is truly inspiring. And so thank you for all that you've done and continue to do, and congratulations on receiving this award. Now, none of this would be possible without the incredible generosity of several law firms and other organizations who have supported this year's event through sponsorships. And so we have received tremendous support from various organizations and individuals as well. So we want to thank you to all those who have supported the event. And I'm going to call out our gold sponsor. Thank you, McDonald Hopkins. And silver sponsors, Margaret W. Wong and Associates, Spangenberg, Chibley and Lieber, and Ulmer Byrne. The complete list of sponsors are listed on the back of your program and on the CMBA's website if you want to check them out. So lastly, I want to also offer my thanks to the members of this year's planning committee. And that's Lynn Lazaro, Stuart Scott, Frank Wardega, Rick Ziegler, and Larry Zuckerman. And I do have to especially call out Lynn Lazaro, who was just such a rock star, helping me make calls to get sponsorships in and really getting this together. So please give a round of applause to the planning committee. Okay, and lastly, thank you to the professional staff of the bar and the leaders of our courts and government offices who took the time to make this event possible and nominate these great people. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Tara, for those kind words. I want to also second what she just said about the work of the bar staff. I've been involved in this event now for the better part of a quarter century, if not longer, and it doesn't happen without them. So please, a round of applause for the bar staff. I want to thank you all for being here, those of you who are here physically and also those who are with us virtually on the streaming of this program. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby conclude the Metropolitan Bar Foundation's 77th Annual Franklin A. Polk Public Servants Merit Award Ceremony. I welcome each of you to join us for a celebratory reception here at the Bar Association just outside the auditorium doors, and go through our history hall and onto the balconies. And I look forward to seeing you, if I'm still long-standing, as Tara said, next year at the 78th Public Servants Merit Award Luncheon. Thank you very much.